Welcome back to Entrepreneur Country TV, edition 23. I went to Switzerland recently, one of my favorite countries. And for those of you who fly British Airways, you'll know in the in-flight magazine, my article, Adventures in Entrepreneur Country, I focused on Switzerland recently. And so there I was at the Vestergaard board meeting that I've mentioned before, Mikkel Vestergaard's company, which is an amazing platform for profit humanitarian development. More than half of all Africans have one of their products in their homes, either the Lifestyle or a malaria net, their permanent brand. They're demonstrating that Africa and the other parts of the so-called developing world are not market failures, but are markets, and that entrepreneurs are paving the way to bring new products and services. One of the things that's most impressive about Vestergaard is the way that they link the developing and the developed world through some of their business models. You'll be hearing more about Vestergaard, but I also spent time with Cheryl Hicks of the Toilet Board. And what's interesting about the Toilet Board is not only that they're backed at the highest levels by Unilever and Kimberly Clarke, but that they're providing essentially a service of sanitation. Yes, they're developing new toilets, and they're creating mechanisms of connecting these to the 2.4 billion people who live in a world without sanitation, and they're closing that gap, again, using entrepreneurship, using the resources of corporates who want to solve that problem because they see the long-term economic value of doing so. And then I made my way over to Zurich, and I got back in touch with an old friend of mine, Renee Eichenberger. Renee is an amazing entrepreneur who founded Crossbow Ventures amongst many other funds, creating very large investment capacities and transformed the world in terms of the backing of entrepreneurs that he did. He and I worked together on Ariadne Capital's first deal 15 years ago, which was Nanomuscle, which we did with Schneider Electric and Volkswagen. Today, however, Renee is working with Simon Fuller of 19 Entertainment, and they have created a new vehicle to make digital pop stars. You may have read about this in the Wall Street Journal. There'll be more information on the Entrepreneur Country site, but they are transforming a whole sector in terms of the creation of new video virtual pop stars online. So it was great to be in Switzerland and to see so much of a vibrant entrepreneurial culture, but an entrepreneurial culture that's actually working with the large corporates to transform the future, to go to Entrepreneur Country. I'm so pleased to introduce you this morning to Benjamin Kott. Benjamin is a CEO and founder of EnergyDeck. He worked at Google for 5 years managing their green services. We know him well at Ariadne Capital, and we believe that it is digital enablers like EnergyDeck which are the future of the emerging energy ecosystem. Here's Benjamin.
Originally started out as an aerospace engineer in Munich, worked for Airbus briefly, then went to Italy into management consulting, media tech, energy space, 6 years, did an MBA on the way at INSEAD, liked really, so good connection there. Came to Google in 2006, 5 years at Google, of which 1 year in strategy, 4 years in green business operations, various angles, and then in 2011 left to set up EnergyDeck. EnergyDeck is a web-based platform that helps run buildings better. What that means is that we capture all the information we can about the assets, the buildings people use. We then capture energy, resource, water, waste, air quality information as well, either manual entries or from sensors that feed data automatically. We analyze all that in our data engine through big data analytics, and then identify savings, optimization opportunities that we can present to different users in different ways. And this combination of capturing all this data that's available and analytics is the innovative part of our platform. Our key clients are mainly large landlords and investors. You call them investors, commercial real estate investors. So think about in the UK and London, there's quite a few of them. Think about Aberdeen, British Land, Lend-Lease, and so on. That's the sort of type of customer. We're working with major service providers as well. Think about major managing agents all the way through to smaller consultancies. And last but not least, we work quite a lot and at an increasing level with hardware manufacturers. Think of meters, smart meters, sensors, air quality sensors, all the way through to energy efficient lighting and all that, because it's all coming together, and we're providing, as we say, one platform to bring all this together and make sense of it. We can bring a degree of innovation and idea generation that large organizations find hard to do. And I was working at a large organization that was relatively good at that, but even there, as you grow larger, you have more processes and so on in place. It gets harder and harder to innovate at a really high speed. And likewise, so you have the small organizations who are innovating that, but then for them to scale and to get access and distribution to the market, that's, they can do the technology side really, really well, but then to get access to the market, they often struggle, or that's a big challenge for them. So that's where working with large organizations makes a lot of sense, who want that innovation and that agile leadership. And by working together, we can make that happen. There's a point in case. We have a partnership with Cisco, which was actually helped. So Ariadne Capital helped get that on the way. We've been working with Ariadne for the last 3 years. I'm with Power, really good friends. And they got us, so they notified Cisco of the opportunity of working with us, and ultimately got us into Cisco's Innovation Center, which is called ID London over in Shoreditch, where we're now one of 5 or 6 connected building startups in that space. So Cisco doing a really good job at putting together a portfolio of companies in that space that are market leading, thought leading in specific areas. And we're now working this year, 2016 is the year where we're going to be spending a lot of time working with Cisco on go-to-market models, because ultimately both of us want to see this work on a commercial level, not just on a technical level. So this is what we're going to work on this year, to get a joint product offering into the market, into Cisco customers and partners.
I spent some time with the Adeo Group recently in London. The Adeo Group are the 3rd largest do-it-yourself retailer in the world, part of the Auchan Group based in Lille. They're a partner to the Entrepreneur Country Forum, so you'll be hearing more about them there because they're supporting the competition of the smart home. And one of the questions as I presented to the innovation team recently was really interesting, so I thought that I would share it with you. And that is, a woman in the audience said, is what you're saying is that we should care less about the competition and care more about the entrepreneur? And I thought that really actually sums it all up. Your competitor in a kind of historical, non-digital, linear world is a different competitor than you'll have in the future. And the key questions that you need to ask yourself if you're a Goliath, a non-tech traditional business that's looking to redefine your space, whatever that is, insurance, retail, communications, is who are my natural allies? In whose interest is it for me to be successful? And how do I build the ecosystem with entrepreneurs? So the short answer is yes, care less about your competition because you don't yet know who your competition is in the digital ecosystems of Entrepreneur Country. So that's all for Entrepreneur Country this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remind you to get your ticket for the Entrepreneur Country Forum on the 19th of April, now less than a month away. Continue to go back to Entrepreneur Country Global to check the speakers in the program, which is emerging. We'll have a whole series of programs for you on the smart home. We have a CXO session as well. So keep going back to entrepreneurcountryglobal.com, and I'll see you at the forum.